Hi. I didn't get to make you laugh. Do you want to tell all of our viewers what you were doing when right at 5 o'clock when we go live? What were you doing?
I was on the phone answering a call by a client that I said, I really can't talk to you now because I'm going live on my show in 30 seconds. And he was like, yeah, I just wanted to ask you a question because, you said this and then you did that. And I was like, I cannot talk to you now.
And now get them to watch this show and see how angry you are. We've lost you.
I'm here.
Oh, no, you came back. You went.
So, hello. Maybe it's because when I scream into my mic, it doesn't work.
It cuts you off.
If I scream. Welcome to Unsung Heroes. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm wonderful. We'll go with that. Yourself?
It's positive reinforcement. I'm feeling great. This is a wonderful day. I'm feeling good. Well, I don't need the,
sound like
the
you're
positive
on a chair in the corner with everything like burning down around you. Everything's fine.
Yes.
This is okay. Where are you?
I am in Lisbon. And I am in my hostel. I've been here for 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. I'm in a hostel called Lisbon Calling, and I just have to show the beautiful artwork that I have in my bedroom.
Lovely lady swinging home. We've lost you again.
Oh man, I guess the internet connection must not be very good for me, but
this bodes well for us.
It bodes well, that's life. But yeah, I've been in Lisbon and I visited the Quake Museum today, and it's still in construction, but it is going to be so cool. And I am so proud to have worked on that project. And I cannot be more passionate about this museum than I already am. Everyone needs to go see it. It's the greatest. It's the greatest thing on earth.
What's its subject matter for the audience?
The museum is called Quake.
Yes.
And it talks about the 1755 earthquake that flattened the city of Lisbon in 1755. So it's a walkthrough experience, an immersive walkthrough experience with an earthquake simulation. And you learn about earthquakes, the science of earthquakes, and then you also learn about the aftermath of the earthquake and politically how did Lisbon get out of it. Thank you very much for that, Sarah. And that's it. There's it's just a really cool experience, and it's going to open in March. And I worked on all of the content in there with Eurovision so it's very cool.
So earlier on this week, we had a TEA event in London. That's the Themed Entertainment Association, ladies and gentlemen. I helped organise it. I did not consider my own aversion to mannequins and masks and took everyone to Madame Tussauds. I was assured that there are no live actors in Madame Tussauds.
Oh, crap. What did you do?
I mean, I grabbed an actor by his throat, recoiled fist, ready to punch him.
No.
I managed to stop myself just before I did, but my fist moved forward before I stopped. And he said that was the most terrifying encounter he's ever had working there. I was like, well, honestly, I asked, I am a 6'7" man. I am not small. Why would you go for the big guy? And I walked around the corner and there's something wrong about that guy. And I just about saw him breathe, and I was just about to process that he's an actor, but he got the jump on me just too quickly, and I don't have a flight response. So I grabbed him, and I was like, I won't. And I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. And he's like, don't worry about it. But that's one of the most terrifying things I've done in my job. And I had Matt Barton from 7 Cents stood like just next to me, and he goes, you were going to hit him. I was like, I know, I'm sorry. I asked, I don't like being scared at the band thing. I told you on Unsung Heroes before, I wear a band, and there was no warning. I was like, when we left, I haven't actually sent the email to the lovely people that helped us out. I know Yael has, European Division President, Middle East, European and Middle East. Yeah, Yael sent a thank you. I haven't sent mine yet, but my thank you is going to be thank you. But like, please do something. Protect your actors. We love them.
Yeah.
They add to the experience. They're wonderful. But for some people like me, it's very much not a good idea.
Oh my gosh.
So like, follow, subscribe, caress, fondle, touch all the buttons that supports TV, because we love you and want to carry on doing all of these wonderful things and talking to these wonderful people. And then before we speak to our guest, would you like to say who our guest is?
Yes. So our guest is Manuel. I forgot how to ask him how to pronounce his name, but I will say it the way I think it is, Faria. And he is a Portuguese sound engineer that I met a couple of years back. And I loved his story. I loved everything that he had to say about sound design. And when I started this show, I knew that I wanted him on this show to be a guest. And because I'm in Lisbon, I thought, my goodness, who better than to have Manuel on the show while I'm here in Lisbon? So he's not here with me in my hostel, but he is at his home, and he's going to talk to us and tell us all about his passions, because there are many. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to have him on the show. It's gonna be a great show. Yay.
So am I, because you won't know, but my godfather is also a sound engineer and designer and worked in the industry for his entire career. So it's another voice from an area that's quite close to my heart.
Oh.
And on that note, should we go into some shower thoughts? I have a few. You can choose.
Want the shower thoughts.
You can
give me the shower thoughts.
I've got 2 thoughts: something that grinds my gears, an observation, and an unpopular opinion.
Observation and something that grinds your gears.
Oh, you're getting a thought as well, because I didn't think you're going to go that way. Observation, like, you're going to bear with me. We have discussed this particular topic, and that I don't have a problem with it, but you'll see. So like, women who breastfeed in restaurants have technically bought in an outside beverage, and no one stops them. And it's sort of one of those points where like acceptable culture transcends rules, and I like those kind of things. Screw the rules. Have your beverage. Here you are, kitty.
If you do that in certain areas of the world, and I will say even in the US, it can be indecent exposure, and then you can get in trouble for it. I'm completely feeding your children, which is just annoying.
For that, I'm completely against it, and I think police and rules should shut up.
Oh my God! Totally.
But do you want a screaming child that's very upset, and like, is that not human indecency? Is that not and like crossing the boundaries of human rights by denying that baby food?
So I'll play devil's advocate. Well, you should go somewhere private, where no one can see you, because God forbid someone sees a boobie. My goodness, a boob. It's like, Holy crap! We're 3 minutes into the show, and what am I saying? Boobies, my knockers, my boobies.
I was going, yeah.
My battle cry always has to do with my.
I'm loving that a microphone's cutting her off when she gets too loud. This is really fun.
Oh, okay. So I really have to talk. I have to talk softer like this. So I really get pissed off when people talk about the shame behind boobs. I mean, seriously, what the fuck is the problem with people's boobs? There is no shame in boobs and in showing your boobs and in having boobs. There's no shame in having 3 boobs if you've got 3 boobs. Who cares?
Total Recall. On that note, as we were entering the show and you weren't supposed to be on the phone, I was going to say to you a little, that age-old advice that if you're nervous when presenting, you should imagine the audience naked.
Yes.
That would screw me up even more. That would bother me. So I sort of shrunk my plan down. I was like, well, just guess how big people's nipples are, because they're vastly different sizes per person.
There are.
You can't possibly know. And I thought that if I said that in a quick enough way, that might trigger you into starting the show not being able to contain yourself. But now it's aired for the world. So unpopular opinion time. I think that people that give Christmas or birthday cards covered in glitter, I just don't think they should be allowed to be friends with anyone. Other glitter people can be friends with them, but they shouldn't mix with the rest of the population. It's hideous.
The glitter?
Bloke bought me a Christmas tree covered in glitter, and I was cleaning it up for about 2 years. And then I moved house, and it sat in this wardrobe here. So now everything in there's covered in glitter. And then I drove it to my friend's house to give it away because I couldn't get rid of it. And I shit you not, the back of my car looks like there's been a stripper gangbang in the back. It is just absolutely caked in the stuff. And the glue as well. So it just looks awful in there.
A stripper gangbang.
You know what I mean? They're always covered in glitter.
That's just, I'm done.
I'm going to give you both my shower thoughts, and then we can crack on. Sorry, we are already over time. I'm so sorry, Manuel.
Totally.
So I had 2 quick shower thoughts. Where people say something goes in hole A or something goes in hole B. Well, an A hole and a B hole are exactly the same thing. And the other one is So this is Sarah's just pointed out in our private chat that this is we've just been approved to stream on LinkedIn, and I think this is our first one that's going on LinkedIn. Madness. The other one, I'm just going to go quickly. So how we as humans and other animals salivate and therefore create water in their mouths? Does that mean that fire is a dragon's saliva?
Yes, I totally agree with that. I've actually already thought of that. And I've actually been like, oh my God, the fire is the spit.
And it helps them chew because it
exactly. It helps in digestion and everything. Yeah, absolutely. Let's get Manuel on and ask him what he thinks. Manuel, please join us.
You ask me of dragon saliva?
Yeah, is fire dragon saliva or is it something else?
I'm a fan of a football team in Portugal, and the fans are called dragons. So we have here lions, eagles, and dragons. And I am a dragon, but I don't know nothing about dragon saliva. Really. I wish I knew.
That tends to be how my shower thoughts run.
Yeah, our shower thoughts and my battle cry about boobies and knockers are that's
boobies,
this is our
boobies
life.
is different. Boobies is different. I could argue on that.
I genuinely don't get the point of boobies. They're just like a bit of other than milk sacks, they are just pillows, and I can't see anything past them. I don't understand
Exactly.
the attraction.
They are pillows.
Boobs. Are you a boobs or a butt man? And I was going to say something that's not LinkedIn friendly then.
I could agree with that, but we run usually a quiz about the five senses, because one thing is I'm most curious. I did this with Cynthia in Paris. We ask people what are their favorite flavor, their favorite color, and their favorite sound, and their favorite taste, and then their favorite sense, tactile sense. And I want it, and we can prove that it's regarding sounds. It's water sounds mostly people prefer, but tactile sounds, most men say boobies, which is
I totally understand that.
I'm out of focus, aren't I?
You are out of focus.
You have dropped focus somehow.
Yeah, this is what happened to my.
There you are. You're back.
Yeah.
My favorite color is the absence of color. It's black. My favorite sound is silence. My favorite tactile sense is.
We can talk about this kind of what is silence. Well, later.
Exactly.
But lots of people put
sound.
Yeah, you don't like the absence of sound. You think you like it, but you don't. You like.
We'll talk about
this. Apps. Yeah, later. Yeah.
No, actually, let's
anyway, boobies come up very frequently, and it's embarrassing because
they also go down pretty frequently.
Yeah, it comes up very easy. It's so ridiculous.
I love.
But some people say velvet, and silk, but mostly men say boobies. Well,
I could take a polished marble, like as a tactile, like something that is perfectly smooth and doesn't have any cracks, or like I can get on board with that. That's quite nice.
Yeah.
Or like memory foam. You've got me thinking now. Like just like a really smooth memory foam. That's quite nice to press.
But color, everything related to sight. People like gray and brown and orange, blue. It's everyone has his own idea. But regarding sound, 55% of people we interviewed like water sounds, prefer water sounds, like rain, like ocean waves, like
a trickling stream,
stream, fountain. And it's very interesting because the hearing sense is very connected to our survival system. So we are tuned to like bird song, natural sounds, and it's really interesting. And boobies. What can I say?
Sarah, please timestamp this one, because we are going to have a best of Unsung Heroes, and I want this. I want this conversation on the bed.
My bad.
I think one of us started it, but I mean,
it was not me.
It's always me.
I was on the backstage. Anyway,
I've got this vision now of us. What we should do is go back and once the episode's finished, name the episode.
Yeah.
like Friends, like the one with, and this would be the one with the babies.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that.
Nature sounds movie.
Cynthia, you have
Oh yes, Manuel. I have a what?
You have something that cuts out your microphone when you.
I know.
You're going rogue.
When I laugh too loud.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I
think it's a noise gate that is cutting you off.
Yeah, it's a noise gate. Exactly.
Yeah.
Cynthia's making too much noise. All right. All right, Manuel, we're 21 minutes into the show and we still have not introduced you.
Okay. So that's okay.
Let me introduce who you are. So you are
like we usually do it.
Or we can do it. Well, Manuel, introduce yourself.
Me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yes. Well, I am Portuguese. I started up as apprentice of music when I was very young, like 4 years old. I started to play piano, and later there was not really a professional issue on just playing piano, as I was not a classical piano player. So I went to engineering school, and I took classes on electronic engineering. But then some friends came up with an idea of creating a band, so I left the engineering course almost in the end, and I went to play with my band. In fact, it was a teacher of the engineering school that told me, listen, you want to be an engineer, just go and play with your band. So I went. And then we had the band for 17 years. And when the band was, as all the bands, they fade up a little. When we were fading down, some guys from an advertising agency called me to create music for an advert, and it was so well paid that I couldn't believe my ears. So I got it, and I said it's the first and the last, and it was not. Then I shifted a bit my career to the communication business, went on studying sound and music and creating sound mostly for the communication business and for cinema, theater. And lately, I embraced the question about the sound in public spaces like shops, theme parks, hospitals, airports. And I'm devoting my energy to give people the right sound ambience, because in most places we don't have the right sound ambience. So that's me, professionally wise.
All right. Okay. Hold on. I just ripped out my earphones, and that made a huge sound in my ears. That was very nice. All right, so that's super cool. I think you have given us a video of your band. Shall we look at that?
Yeah. Fun. Okay, just a little.
Yeah. Sarah, can you pull that up for us? She's coming. We have our producer Sarah in the background. She's doing all of this stuff. There it is.
Ser poeta é ser mais alto, é ser maior do que os homens, morder como quem beija, é ser mendigo e dar como quem seja, rei do reino de Aquém e de além do, é ter de mil desejos o esplendor e não saber sequer que se deseja, é ter cá dentro um astro que flameja, é ter garras e asas de condor. É ter fome.
Wow. I didn't watch any of the videos before because I wanted to be surprised. I didn't know you sang in a band you played in a band that was in front of so many people.
I can't sing.
You can't or you can?
I can't. My band
But you
once
can play.
once they said we have all to sing, so they got a microphone to each one of us, and then when it was time for us to sing, I approached the microphone and I sang, and someone picked me by the elbow, and so I was free to not sing anymore in my life.
But
it's not a good experience.
Wow. I mean, that's so cool. I didn't even think that I thought you were like talking about, some tiny little band. And then you're saying, how many people were you playing in front of there?
Like 30,000, I think.
Holy
now
crap.
It's let me explain to you. We are 8. The band is 8 members, and this is a song where I'm just alone with the singer. But we are a lot with brass and lots of people. And this was in a show in Lisbon, which is called Rock in Rio, which is very big. And we should do the first part of Elton John. But Elton John was in a hurry, so he did our first part. So now we can say to everybody that Elton John did our warming gig for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's funny. Welcome back, Chris.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to go and deal with a matter.
Yeah, I can.
There's a window just here, and I could hear noises outside. And I walked outside round through my patio. I walked round, and there was what I can only describe as a teenager stood at the window looking in.
Okay.
It was a bit weird, but it's dealt with now.
Yeah. Yay! Call the cops. Tell them that there's some strange kid lurking in the streets.
There's always someone strange lurking in the streets. I'm reclining to Matt's shoulder height because you both look more comfortable than me.
I'm sitting on the floor, and I could be sitting. Oh crap! I could be sitting in this armchair, but then the glare is too big on my glasses, and so I'm sitting on the floor, just like, hey, hi, I'm very comfortable.
When are you going to do a show?
Chris you have a nice chair. I noticed in the previous episodes and previous shows.
My gaming chair, yeah.
My kids would like to earn this for Christmas. Gaming chair, isn't it?
Yeah. This is my gaming setup that has ended up with a rather nice microphone and a decent camera, just so that we can do this.
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
All right, isn't it? Always got Mickey for company.
So Manuel, what in your work as a sound engineer, what kind of challenges have you faced? What kind of difficulties have you run into? Things that can piss you off?
Can piss me off?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Several. The most frequent and the most annoying thing I have is when someone says, the sound is not right. I can't hear the bass, and for example, the guitar is too metallic. And I ask this person, where did you hear it? In my laptop. So if you hear this in your laptop, how can you judge if there is no bass? Because in your laptop, there's never bass. So what pisses really me off is the lack. We live in a visual world. I think we all agree with this. When we talk about a film, when you talk about a film campaign or something, people only argue about the visual, the colors, the brightness, and the sound is like we'll deal with this later. And it's very easy to have an opinion on sound or on music because it's very subjective. And what pisses me off most frequently is this lack of education people have on how sound behaves, how sound is built.
I have a bit for you on that. I was working on a project. I shan't name it, and we had a beautiful surround system in this environment, and it was the speakers were mounted behind the projection screens, and at the very last minute, the client decided that those projection screens had to be fire retardant. So therefore, they covered them in a fire retardant lacquer with the speaker one side and the people the other. And then they complained at us and said that our speakers sounded terrible. So I took a corner off the
seen that.
And it was very much, I don't know if you know the film Ace Ventura, where he goes and stands outside the balcony and slides the door whilst screaming at the top of his voice, like open and closed and open and closed. So I played a Rage Against the Machine track, which swore a lot in it on purpose, and lifted the screen and dropped it back down over it. And I said, it's nothing to do with the speaker system. You've picked a terrible screen. Like, as the AV integrator, we should have been part of the screen. So we would have told you that this is going to sound awful. And they just did not get it. And it was too late. So to this day, that's still how it sounds. This beautiful soundscape that was so emotive and so much time had gone into it. And it just sounded terrible.
It's so frustrating.
I've been there many times. Once was at 3:00 in the morning. Someone called me because there was some project for the government, and they decided to cover the speakers with felt because it was nicer, and the speakers were, and then they complained because the sound was not okay. It's a fight of a lifetime to make people understand that
you get the scenic guys that go in with the spray paint and go, this speaker's the wrong color, and they just spray it.
Yeah, it happened to me also. Yeah, but you have a lot to deal with. For example, architects that built museums, and they don't let you put speakers anywhere. But you have to put sound in the room. But there, no. There, no. There, no. And what about that? No. So you are not allowed to put anything anywhere. And in the end, you put some tiny speakers in the floor. And they said, you see, sound is not that important. And you go home.
Juicer speakers that can.
Yeah, and you go home like, yeah. It's a battle. The battle for, even in theme parks, for example, the battle for sound to have a role, it's ongoing. because there is sound, and in some parks it's really good sound, but others, no, there's nobody thought about it, and it's too late. When you come to the ballpark, it's too late.
And quite often they've gone through the process of the soundscape has been created, and you've got all of the sounds and the noises, the music, whatever, has all been signed off and painstakingly created over months and months and months, and no one's thought about how it's actually being delivered.
Yeah, and nobody thinks about how can I improve this. I was with Cynthia some years ago in Asterix Park, and I talked to the manager of Asterix Parks and said, "How old is this soundscape? 20 years. Why don't you change it? As long as the bucks keep coming in, we don't think about it." And it's the wrong answer. It's you cannot think like this.
Well, how do you convince people to not think like that, though?
Well, sometimes I get lucky. We created the soundscape for a museum in Bilbao in Spain, and it was a tech museum, Bilbao Museum of Technology. It had no sound, which is weird. You enter like it's a pyramid, and we went there. We were sponsored by the guys that were doing the images, the pictures, and I went there with a pair of speakers, and I just played the music to them, and they said, "We don't need this." Okay, let me just play the music. So we played the music, and in the end said, "Oh, don't shut. Let it be." I said, "Okay." So you see, it's important. We played some music in the parking lot, which was very attractive to the museum, and then in the entrance, and everything made sense. But sometimes you have to deliver it so that people will, oh, okay. Mainly, it's like it's not important.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say we tend to try and either direct them to somewhere in their locality where it's done properly, or take them to somewhere where it's done properly, and say, "See the difference," or "Hear the difference." More importantly, and 9 times out of 10, a client will turn around and say, "Yes, I do understand the difference," but it's usually certainly when I'm involved, it's too late.
Sometimes it's too late because it's too late to buy the speakers. It's too late to wire everything and to mount the speakers in the correct position. And the people will say, "Okay, you're right, but next time." And it happens everywhere.
20 years later, and they've already forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found
gets out of their radar, Gets out of their radar, and then it's out.
Yeah, when we saw each other yesterday, Manuel, we talked about how in video today, how the sound is just so crappy, and we have to put subtitles on Netflix or on movies to understand what's being said. And I just find it so frustrating that sound has been relegated to this like secondary, if we've got the budget for it, we'll do it. But in the end, we rarely have the budget to think about sound. And I find it such a shame, because it really is, it's one of our 5 senses, and we're just completely throwing it out. I don't understand.
There's also another point on that, is for those that are hard of hearing and the lack of sound, and they can't hear things and they can't experience what we can hear and see. And there's very rarely something there for them to be able to draw them in. Like it's quite standard. Oh, we'll just throw in an induction loop somewhere, and they'll be able to hear something. But if you've actually taken the time to wear a set of headphones with an induction loop tester or unit to see what's actually being put across, the quality of that is half or a third what the speaker quality is and what people that can hear are hearing. So it's even a struggle then. So there's sort of two sides to the same coin.
Yeah, but if you pay attention closely, the sound, the auditory sense, it's our major and primary sense, more than visual. We evolved in a sense that we use visual much more than hearing, but hearing is on the base of our survival, is on the base of you don't see in the savannah in Africa, you don't see any animal with big eyes. All animals have big ears and big noses. They smell and they hear. Their vision is secondary, completely secondary. And for us, it's the same. I can play, I was not prepared to do this here, but I can play you a picture of a dog with his teeth, and I can play you the sound of the roaring dog, and the effect it has on you will be completely different, because we analyze what we see, but we feel what we hear. It's very, very different. What we hear goes directly to our amygdala and processes adrenaline and cortisol. And what we see, we analyze, and then if we have to react on what we cognitively analyzed, we do, but we don't react instantly to what we see.
Yeah, I remember you showing that at the SAIT conference that you spoke at.
It's really different.
It really is different. Incredible. Yeah.
And if you want a full experience, sound has to play a major role. Yeah. That's my fight.
So, I guess with all of that in mind, and talking how sound affects everything and every environment, what would you say is the most challenging environment that you've worked in?
Most challenging?
Yeah.
Well, I think this is common to all the levels of what we do, all of us. There is always a heart attack moment in every project. So any project that goes very smoothly, we already know that in somewhere we'll have a heart attack moment. And
I like that. Heart attack.
Yeah, but it's true. It happened to you, didn't it, Cynthia?
Yeah, of course.
I think I never had a project that went from A to B, and I don't have a story to tell. There's always a point where everything seems to
crumble.
Yeah, but it depends on the projects. We did the craziest projects are more fragile on that, because there are lots of things that haven't been done before, so that we cannot foresee the challenges. But I remember that I think we have a video somewhere. Mini, Mini motor cars. Mm-hmm. They were the sponsors of a horror movie festival in Lisbon, which is called Motel X, and they have several sessions with horror movies all over. And Minnie asked us to do something to frighten the spectators. And they even suggested, let's play some ghost sounds. I said, listen, people that go to horror movies are not frightened with ghost sounds. Let's seriously, we are going to a horror movie and then no. So we had this idea, let's kill someone in the audience. And this was a setup with a Dolby 7.1 sound. So we had a back channel on the right of the venue. So we created this story of a guy picking his phone and talking during the movie, which is sometimes happens. I don't know if it's quite common in Portugal. Sometimes happens. And the guy was there, very impolite, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm at the cinema, but you can talk." And he was, and then we said the audience will start to shut him down, and in the end we had recorded in the so this happened in the back left surround. So in the right side surround, a guy picks up a pistol and kills him.
Shall we see the video?
Yeah.
I think you gave it. Sarah, can you pull it up? It's coming.
Yeah.
Podes falar à vontade, eu estou no cinema, mas diz, o que é que foi? O Borges quer receber? Mas quer receber a que propósito? Ele tem que esperar, pá, como os outros todos têm que esperar. Agora estou-me a mandar calar aqui, o que é que foi? Estou a trabalhar, mas... Pá, o quê, pá? Olha, agora a propósito, tu sabes quem é que eu encontrei aqui à entrada do cinema? Aquele gajo que esteve connosco no Algarve.
Cala-te, urso!
Mas cala-te... Urso? Urso era o teu avô, pá, mas o que é isso?
Vamos lá! Queres ver como é que vais calar? Queres ver como é que vais calar?
Oh, that's awesome.
Can you imagine airing that in the United States and how many?
No.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that in the United States. That
Yeah.
would be awesome.
Here we got away, but the owner of the cinema didn't want us to do this, and the problem was that the DCP, the digital package, didn't work. So when we ran the first session, we couldn't hear the voice of the guy talking.
Oh.
And it was 900 people in the room. I had the client besides me and said, I'm going to die. And then we fixed the problem in the next session. But it's this kind of things that happen when you don't do the usual, because to do the usual, it's easy. You know the ways, but to make something really unusual. And then it was really good because people reacted, and people don't usually clap hands in the cinema. People reacted really great. And there were sessions where people were all out of their chairs and the reactions you hear were not recorded. The guy is just talking, and and it's the audience. So we bet on a reaction, but it's a big risk. Sometimes it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So I think when you try something new, you always have your hands on the line, and it can all go wrong, and you're to blame.
We did an audience effect with sound in Canada, and had two bass units that were bolted into the concrete of the stage, beneath the stage in sort of like sunken wells. And this was all for a ice breaking effect. So the screen was all frozen, and as the ice broke, you got this really deep thud that as it was falling apart and then hitting the ground. And to resonate that through the audience, we sent each seat had a butt kicker on it, and we had a shockwave that ran back through the audience quite quickly. But there was enough time to acknowledge that the like people in front of you had jumped out of their seat and didn't know what it was, and then you get it as well. And that it was we've got a short video of that with a school group of about 200 school kids all leaping up out of their seat and what's happening here. And yeah, it's that kind of thing where the impact of something can be so real, and it's done through sound.
Yeah, and I believe that you get more impact that if people are not expecting this thing to come from where it comes. Because if you do it in a movie, we are expecting everything from a feature film, but you're not expecting something to happen in the room or in any other place. And I think that you can use sound where it's unexpected, and it's much more powerful.
Yeah, sound can be extremely powerful when it's used correctly. Even when it's used incorrectly, it can be powerful.
Very annoying.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to challenge Chris with the silence thing, because silence is one of my main works, and silence scientifically, it's very bad. Absence of sound. If you mean absence of sound, the most accurate absence of sound is in Minneapolis in the US. It's an anechoic chamber, which has a resident sound noise of -9 decibels, and the most time a man endured inside was 45 minutes, because it's not good. You start to hear your heartbeat, then you start to hear.
People say you feel that your pulse in like
and then the blood in your veins.
Yeah,
and animals, and there is a very interesting experiment with mice. Mice use silence to trigger panic. So when in a community of like 10 mice, if one mouse stands still and silent, it triggers panic in all the. So animals in general don't like silence, and humans also. So the silence we like is 30 decibel silence, like a beach with gentle waves, a mountain. That's the silence we like. But this silence has a lot of sounds. We don't like absolute silence. That I can assure you.
So few sounds. Am I allowed to say a few?
Yeah, but it's correct. But then I would suggest.
I don't like waves because they crash differently, and it's not. Although it's rhythmic, it's not the same. So I like if it's going to be a noise, I like that noise to be quiet and repetitive and simple.
Yeah, that's very clever, because if you what you're saying is that you should be far away enough. But what do we use to manage sound? We use decibels. For example, I think in Europe, you cannot have more than 80 decibels, 85 decibels of sound, because it ruins your hearing. But if you are in an airplane, inside there is 85 decibels, and you can sleep. And you can sleep because it's continuous sound. And the continuous sound, your brain doesn't react to it. Your brain analyzes it, and then, okay, it's just the sound of the plane. And after a few minutes, you cease to hear it, which is really interesting.
Incredible. Yeah.
It's 85 dBs of sound. It's more than a loud restaurant, and you cease to listen, to hear it, because it's continuous. What the brain doesn't like is sound that goes up and down. For example, if you are trying to sleep and there is rain outside, the rain helps you to sleep. But you have a drop in your bathroom, you cannot sleep. Like because the silence triggers your attention immediately, and your brain cannot rest. So there's a lot of discussion about what is annoying about sound and what is not, and how can we make a law that can protect people from sound. If for example, if you live on the same building of a discotheque, and you are in the 5th floor, you hear boom, 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 boom. And if you try to analyze it with a sound meter, it's nothing. It's 1, 2 decibels. But in your brain, it's repetitive. You are expecting it. Your brain starts to expect the sound. Ah, there he comes again. There he comes again. And it gets you mad. So it's difficult to understand how sound behaves, but we know how we feel, the majority of us. So that's, I think, the work that has to be done.
I have gardeners around where I live that maintain, there's like a park right opposite my apartment. And there's one guy that works for this gardening company that uses a hedge trimmer, and as opposed to maintaining a petrol hedge trimmer, as opposed to maintaining a speed on it, I mean, I don't know what he thinks he's fingering, but
we have this.
What are you doing?
We have this at home on Tuesday.
Or just like, shut up.
Yeah.
Just one consistent noise. If you need it playing fast, keep it triggered down all the time. Like, if I was doing that, I want this done as fast as possible, so maximum power, and therefore if I'm in control of something noisy, for me, vacuum cleaners just drive me insane. But that's because my parents consistently would choose to do the vacuuming in the house on a Saturday or Sunday morning at about 7 o'clock in the morning, when I was a teenager going out
to punish you for going out.
It wouldn't just be the vacuum cleaner in the house. No, it's the bit to do in the hallway right outside my bedroom door. Wham! 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 And I'm just like, I'm going to murder you. I'm just going to murder someone. So I'd open the door.
Just punishing you, Chris.
Chris, I have this every Tuesday. And I negotiated with the guys. I went out of home and I said, you have to stop this. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. Because the guy had a similar thing, like you say. It's a leaf blower.
Oh, yeah, they're the same again.
Why don't you use it like okay? No, but it helps me thinking about the human brain and how we react to sound. We don't like this kind of buzzing around with volume. We prefer high volume. Okay, high volume. Let's get it. But not we react very, very badly.
So Manuel, you did a project during the lockdown that I absolutely loved. And for everyone who is listening in, please put on your headphones to listen to this next video. I'll give Chris the time to go get his headphones. There we are. And so tell us, introduce this little project that you did, because I loved it. I thought it was great.
Well, during lockdown last year, everybody was forbidden to leave their house, or unless they had a pass that I didn't have. And I was thinking that no cars, no buses, no nothing would take us to Lisbon 200 years ago, before the Industrial Revolution. So I went with my car, and I went to several places in Lisbon, and I recorded the soundscape in binaural 3D audio, which is those microphones that are they can take all the sound field, and we realized that the sound of Lisbon was 20 decibels under its normal average sound. And for anyone who doesn't know decibel is a logarithmic scale. So 10 decibels is half the sound, or 10 decibels more is the double of the sound. So 20 decibels less is a quarter of the volume perceived by. And we did this video because it would make us think about how the cities could be quieter, and how the planet could be quieter also.
Shall we?
Yeah.
All right.
That was so pleasant.
Yeah, it's over.
Oh,
yeah.
I see I see what you mean, though, when you say my meaning of silence, and
that's silence.
It's not the total lack of sound; it's the absence of. Can I say absence of noise? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's
really, not the lack of sound; it's the absence of noise, like Cynthia.
This is the you are aiming at the right spot, because noise is a definition that only you can make. You have to know what's noise for you.
A lot of things that I register on the autistic spectrum, and a lot of things that people consider normal, I find noisy and uncomfortable.
Yeah, my wife, I like jazz. For my wife, this is noise.
Oh, jazz makes my heart upset. It literally has that effect on me because I can't plan. I don't know where the rhythm's going, and it changes so quickly and so fluidly.
Yeah,
so I don't know what to expect.
Noise could be defined as unpleasant sound, unwanted sound. Yeah,
exactly.
And unwanted sound is personal. But the only way, if we could go a bit deeper, there's a guy, Murray Schafer, a Canadian guy, that defined the soundscape, which is what we hear, as hi-fi, high fidelity soundscape before the Industrial Revolution. Humans could not make a lot of noise. We didn't have the power to make a lot of noise. And loudest noises were natural sounds like thunder and a volcano sometimes. Then, after the Industrial Revolution, we managed to create a lot of noise. And now the way we have to defend us against loud noise is to have, double windows. So we shut down everything from outside. So we also shut down the birds, and we also shut down the waves, and we shut down everything. So now we live in a lo-fi soundscape, which is more close to the silence you were talking about. And the way to regain a healthy soundscape in our lives is not to shut down ourselves. It's to try to quiet down those noises and to get away from them. And we have to go in this direction. This has been the fight of my life. For example, in hospitals, we made soundscapes with natural sounds, with water. Water is very powerful. Not waves. I know you don't like waves, but for example, a fountain in a garden, the fountain is there because of the sound. Nobody will drink water from the fountain. The sound of the fountain.
Pretty to look at in a garden.
They are not very nice.
But like my grandparents have one, and it just trickles. That's all it does. It's not special to look at, but it is lovely to sit next to.
Because of the sound.
Because of the sound, and then that often brings in the birds as well. And if it's a relatively still day where they live, you can hear the flutter of the wings as the birds come down to it, and that's very. I can see why it's there. It's very pleasant.
Yeah, and Japanese hospitals, they have a fountain in the entrance. The fountain with several steps, and it's there for a reason. And if you imagine the life, I've never been in a hospital. I never spent a night in a hospital, thank God. But in one Boston hospital, some people recorded 12,000 beeps, alarm beeps, in one day. So imagine, you are there recovering from a surgery, and you are in pain, and you are hearing 12,000 alarms, which are meaningless, because most of the alarms don't mean nothing. The nurses come and go, and they don't pay attention. So people have to pay attention to sound, and there we should be curators of sound everywhere. People who understand and care about sound and say, don't do this, don't do that, shut this down. And that's what I do.
Do you think in hospitals, there's the technology is there to have the alarms just flash up on the nurse's station silently?
Yeah.
I have spent quite a lot of time in hospitals as a patient, and the beeping and the changing environment does my absolute head in.
Yeah, and I have a friend last week in the hospital, and I was calling him, and he was talking to me, and I heard dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee, and I said, "What's that?" "Ah, it's just my pulse that sometimes it deploys an alarm." And if the alarm is not important, why does it sound? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's not important for the nurses, but it could be important for you. You are sick, and suddenly something is. This is completely ridiculous. And I asked the manager of the hospital, "Why don't you give people headphones with like bird song and waves and music for them to?" "I don't know, because people steal the headphones." It's ridiculous. Something is very wrong. So when I talk about sound, I talk about sound everywhere, not just themed entertainment. We should have sound contained and studied everywhere. That's my point.
Well, let's move on a little bit with our questions. I mean, this is I'm loving this conversation, Manuel.
Me too.
What would you tell yourself, your younger self, if you could go back in time and talk to, I don't know, the 16-year-old Manuel or the 20-year-old Manuel? What would you tell him?
I don't know. Someone told me a sentence that I love, which is, you shouldn't have too many plans for your life, because you can ruin the plans that life has for you.
Oh.
And it's, I go with this. Yeah.
I love that. I love it so much. I'm actually writing it down. So, because I think that's gorgeous.
You have to start somewhere and go with the flow, seek your opportunities, seek where your interests go. And I tell my kids, you'll never be what you think you will be. Because when I was 16, I thought I would be an engineer. When I was 18, I thought I would be a classical musician. And I'm not none of these things. You just let things happen, try to do it. But I always worked hard. I had children very young. So I think I amused myself also. But
with 6 kids, it sounds like you did.
Yeah. Let's bring the the picture of the kids, because I saw that picture, and I sent you an email and I said your family breathes joy, and that's just totally it made that picture made me feel so good. I love that picture of your family, Manuel. Really.
Thank you. They are all crazy. And
I love it.
Two of them are from my wife, and the other 4 are mine. But my wife's kids are with me since they were 2 and 4 years old. So it's a lifetime.
So you're dad.
Oh yeah, you're a dad.
Yeah,
you're their
I'm dad. But I have a good dad, which is a big friend of mine also.
Good.
But I think they all follow different paths, and I can see me on them, because I didn't follow, take engineering and get a job and behave. I was never like that. So I don't expect them to be like that. But you have to be true to yourself.
That's very wise. I'm really liking this show. I have tears coming to my house.
Great.
I'm really enjoying this show.
The middle one, in fact, is a musician.
Comment.
Yeah.
Lots of profound comments coming out of Manuel.
I know.
No, it's you know, you have to be faithful for your truth.
It's true. I think we have time for. Oh, crapola! Hold on. I think we have time for one more question. Chris, would you like to go for that before I throw mine?
Of course. So, if you were to have a dream project, what would it entail? Is it like something that you were a particular like IP or a particular experience or idea that you'd like to be part of? Like we're saying, money's no object. This is the utter dream, perfect thing for you.
Can I have two?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of them, I think it will come true, is to build the soundscape for Lisbon Airport. I think that most airports, or almost all airports, are so cold when you arrive. So I have this project of recording sounds of the city of Lisbon and playing them on the passports, you know, the passports lounge where you have to wait till you enter. It's a kind of welcoming to Lisbon and welcoming back to the people that, you know, you hear the tram, and I'd like to make a immersive experience, because I think that any space that has people should be treated as a theme park, the same way. So we have people standing there for 20 minutes. Let's entertain them in a good way. And yes, I'm trying.
The passport hall is an experience, so why not theme it?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's welcome to Lisbon. Imagine welcome to Lisbon in 20 languages. And the sounds of the tram passing over you, and the little boats and the seagulls and everything that's about Lisbon, the fado. So you feel immediately welcome, and not this kind of I hate passport controls everywhere. You feel that I'll be banned. Something will happen.
Yeah.
I'll be banned.
There's so much stress. There's like there's.
That's
it's
a
impressive.
dream I'm putting down, and I'm trying to negotiate with the owners of the airport, because now it's a French private company, and with the City Hall of Lisbon, so that they can sponsor it, but it's difficult. The other thing I'd love to do would be a major feature film, which I never done. I've done music for small things and never had the opportunity to do, you know, like a Oliver Stone picture. Or I'd like to do that.
Well, hey, we'll put it out into the world.
Yeah, but anyway,
I was just thinking about what Heathrow's passport and immigration controls and the sounds of England and London, and I go, what? The only thing that popped into my head was a giant, horrible sounding fart.
No, but you could have Hyde Park. Hyde Park sounds beautiful.
On Sunday,
because the sound of the city. I recorded Hyde Park several times. You know, a thing in London we could do. I had a meeting with the owners of the Natural History Museum. They have those animals dead, you know, like, and they could add the sound of, you know, savannah sound in Africa, and the sound of the seas and the ice. It could be brought to life so easy. Why those museums have no sound? I cannot understand.
Yeah. Because it's always the way with the museum curators. No, that's not how it should be. It should be boring,
and you know why?
And flat.
You know why, Chris? You know why? Because silence is related to education. People
That's
that respect is similar to silence. That's the same in classical music. You cannot cheer between the movements. It's educated not to make any sound. And it's stupid. Because now the same museums are putting on Pink Floyd, Björk, U2 exhibitions with full of sound, and they are making a lot of money. But then if you have a painting museum, you cannot do any sound. It's a lack of respect and education. And I think we have to fight this because it's a stupid way.
How would you interpret then, like, is it Van Gogh's Starry Night?
Yeah.
Like, if you were to make a sound and make an ambient sound or a track that you listen to whilst looking at that, like, that takes a level of creativity that I would walk into that and go, oh, that works. I really like that. This is adding to my experience, but I wouldn't be able to be like, oh, what this needs is these kinds of sounds.
Yeah. But
have you ever been to the Carrière de Lumière? I mean, I was there just 2 weeks ago. Carrière de Lumière has the.
Have you ever been to
So they have the Van Gogh experience, and right now what I saw was the Kandinsky and I forgot Monet, Kandinsky and Monet expo with video mapping on the walls of
and
this,
music.
Yeah, and music, and they animated the art and through video mapping, and it was an amazing experience. And I really, I mean, the what the Atelier de Lumière and the Carrière de Lumière, it's all the same company. What they do? Oh, stop it! Every time I speak French, that's what he does.
Yeah, I can understand.
I think it would be so awesome to be able to go into, the Louvre and to, walk into a space or, oh my God, even look at a painting, and that painting recognizes that you're looking at it and plays music in that goes with the painting. And I think that would be so awesome.
Yeah, it's difficult, because music has a timeline. Music is something that develops in time. And the painting also. The painting looks at first sight as a stable and fixed artifact. But in fact, your eye has a way, a path around the painting. You don't see a painting like a whole. You have...
Yeah.
And for example, in a Jerónimos Bosch painting, one of the famous paintings, we asked several people to see how the eye was going. They started at the middle, and they go and they did this. So the music can do the same. You understand? So instead of being a steady and fixed pattern, the painting is no more a fixed pattern. It's the traveling your eye makes. And then I can work with this. I can make music for the whole path. And we did this for a National Arts Museum, for the autistic children to look at the paintings in a different way. But first you have to decide how the majority of people see the same painting, because it's not the same for everybody. And you don't stay still at the center point. It's not true. For example, you go to Rembrandt, the Night Watch, and everybody starts at the middle and then travels the eye around. And this is like a movie. It's no longer a painting or a still picture. It gains life. So that's a lot to work on there.
It's true. there's so much to be done, and we do have to get to our unsung hero. We have to get to our fun questions.
Okay.
But
I'm ready for everything.
Goodness,
I believe.
I love these. I love this. I love this show because we can get into such interesting, such interesting subjects and passionate subjects, and I just love it. But I do have the most, well, not the most important, the question for this show is, this is Unsung Heroes. We talk about unsung heroes, and you are our unsung hero this evening. But I did want to ask you who your unsung hero is, Manuel. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, I chose when I began my career as a musician, I recorded several times with my band with this sound engineer who was a studio owner, and it's José Fortes, who is a great friend now, and he had a big studio which was very expensive, and then he had a smaller studio. And when I started doing music for commercials and I started to earn my money, I would hire his studio. And besides teaching me a lot of things I needed to know about sound, one day he invited me to lunch and he said, "You have to stop doing this. You have to build your own studio. You are spending too much money on me." And I said, "Well, thank you, but I can't afford the gear." The gear was very expensive. It was not as nowadays. Nowadays, with 5,000 euros, you buy a studio. And he said no. So he gave me a check of 300,000 escudos at the time. And he said, "No, you go and buy a studio." And
That's
I bought
incredible.
my studio, and I started to work at home, and I paid him back. That's obvious, but I never went to his studio again to do these small projects, which I think José was really unbelievably friendly to me.
Yeah, it's good when we meet people like that. And
yeah,
in life, I think that there are so many people like that, and they go unrecognized most of the time. We don't actually spend the time to sit and say, "Oh my gosh, this person was so important," and or
yeah,
just saying thank you. I remember as I don't know, I graduated from college, and someone asked me who my pivotal person was, and someone that just really changed my life, that really made me pivot in my life. And I've had a few, and when I was 20, I had 2 or 3 of these people, and they're still my pivotal people. And I remember thinking, my gosh, I have to tell them that they were a pivotal person for me. And so, I went and told them. And this show for me is it's a way to say thank you to all of the people that make a difference in the experiences that we can have in theme parks, in everywhere. Like you said, everywhere there's public, it should be an experience and a themed experience. And
Yeah.
we should think about everything that we see when we welcome a public, a person to a space. It's like welcoming them to our home. The decoration, making it feel like a home, making it feel welcoming. It's something that we think about for our own personal spaces, but we don't think about it for huge spaces where we welcome many people, and I really think that it's lacking.
Yeah.
But
It's
anyway,
well,
Jose, thank you very much, Jose, for being Manuel's mentor.
You know.
We owe him a debt.
Yes, we do owe him a debt. So we're in the fun questions. My favorite part. All right, so we get to the fun questions. Manuel, the fun questions are pretty much rapid fire, quick questions that you can explain or just answer, and that's pretty much it. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You think you're ready? Best sandwich.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What is your best sandwich?
Best sandwich, it's easy. Banana, cinnamon, and cheese.
And cheese?
Yeah.
What?
In a toaster. In a toaster.
What kind of cheese?
Flamingo cheese.
Yes. What kind of bread?
I take this mixed bread, not just white bread.
Yeah.
You toast it. You put the slices of banana over the cheese, and then you put some cinnamon powder, and you toast it. You have to try it.
I'm literally going to try that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that. Gonna try that. I will try that. Is that like a Portuguese thing, or
no? It's a Brazilian thing. It's a Brazilian thing.
Okay.
I learned this in Brazil. I love this.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's surprising.
That one was easy.
I'm just pleased that we didn't get another person saying a Reuben, whatever a Reuben is.
I don't know what's that.
It's an American sandwich that they all eat and swear by, and it's just like the most ridiculous what.
It's delicious.
That's just
I
too
have
loud
to try
again
that. Yeah.
Like, just get some Marmite on board at least, Cynthia.
Marmalade is good.
No. Marmalade is good.
Marmalade for you is orange jelly for us. Because marmalade is marmalade is a Portuguese word.
Yes.
Marmalade is a Portuguese word that Catherine, the Queen of England, who was Portuguese, brought to England, because marmalade is made of a fruit that we have here, which is called marmelo.
It's a coin.
Yeah, and there was no marmelos in England, so she made marmalade out of orange. So your marmalade is our orange jelly. It's not actually marmalade.
Chris, it's coin. It's coin. The fruit is a coin. It's like a mix between a pear and an apple.
Yeah, and peach, more or less, between.
It's
and marmalade. It's solid. You slice it. It's.
Yep. I have it every morning at my hostel since I've been
here. Yeah. It's nothing to do with English marmalade. Nothing.
No, that's true. Okay. All right. Next question. If you had to,
sounds like a bastard fruit slice.
Yeah. More or less that.
Carry on.
It's really good. It's really good. All right. One thing, Manuel, that you own that you should really throw out.
Wow. My DVD player. It's there dead for months.
I agree. I had a VCR player.
Oh, this one went out long ago.
I think I threw it out like 5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah. Now it's the DVD, and the CD player is going out also.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot about not the what? The turntable. No.
You need to switch around the next question and make it more specific to Manuel.
What's
Do you see
the
what
next
I mean?
question?
The number 8.
Yeah. And then switch it round to make it more focused.
Well,
Like sound instead of
Yeah.
smell? All right. Okay. So, Manuel, what is your favorite sound?
this is easy also. My favorite sound is the horn of fog made by the lighthouses near our house. It's the
Yeah.
I can't tell you why, but
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. That's true.
that's the sound I associate with quietness and happiness. You are in your bed and you hear this and you know there's fog, and I like fog anyway. I'm
Wow.
Portuguese. I'm not English. If I was English, I perhaps would not like fog that much. But this horn sound is so deep, you know, this. Well,
Yeah, I totally understand that. I totally understand that. Okay, that's your favorite sound. What's your least favorite sound?
children crying.
Crying or screaming?
Annoying children anyway. It's incredible. I hate the sound of, you know, children
Children screaming and gunshots.
scream and taking advantage of their parents. You know, this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could kill them. It's not recording, I hope.
Ironically, that's what I was going to say. Like, my two sounds are screaming children and gunshots, but if you put the two together, problem solved.
Yeah, that's it. You get an idea. Oh, but you know, when we went to Cannes Lions some years ago, I went with my wife, and we have 5 children, so 6 children. So we like children, anyway. And there was a family behind us that was checking in, and the children were, and the hostess said, "What seats you prefer?" And my wife said, "Away from this family." And she was, you are not good people. I said, no, away, far away. Yeah. It's really a sound that I can live without.
I have one last fast question, and it's one of my favorite because it's always the one that that gets a little philosophy in there. If you had to describe the rest of your life in 5 words, what would they be?
It has to have to do. I have to do a sentence, or
no? You can just.
I need to put a verb and 5 words.
No. You can use 5 words. Any words. It can be a sentence if you want it to be a sentence, but it can be 5 adjectives. It can be verbs, adjectives.
Okay. So, healthy. I think this comes first. Then happy. Curious, keeping curious. Time to do my things. It's not a lot of words.
Hobbies.
Time.
Fine.
And solidarity solidarity with other people.
You're a beautiful man, Manuel.
No, happy. We have always to stay tuned to people that are around you. You cannot be happy if other people are not. So that's my point. And there's no sound in any word. I'm sorry.
Right, so we're going to move on. Cynthia, you've missed one of your important ones. So we have the Unsung Hero. Well, we don't have it. It's not been created yet, but we definitely have the list. The Unsung Heroes playlist. So what we'd like to know, Manuel, is what song would you choose if you had to listen to it for the rest of your life?
Oh, this is very difficult. This is
I
really
struggle with this
difficult.
one. I can't do it.
Yeah. No, me neither. You know, just to explain a bit, I went to a cruise with my wife, which was a really bad idea because she gets seasick and I didn't know. And she was vomiting for 3 days. But the worst part was we went in a boat that was playing a song from Barbra Streisand. And in the end of the song, they resumed the song, and they resumed the song, and that was it. And nobody in the boat was paying attention except me, who was going crazy about this. And I went to the reception and said, "You have to stop this. I cannot hear this song anymore." And they said, "Sorry, we only have this song." There was a mistake at the embarkment. I said, "You take this song away immediately because I will dive into the ocean." So listening to the same song all over again, it's a bad idea.
Okay, so we'll change the question round then. Can you name us one of your favorite songs ever that we could put in our playlist as your entry?
Yes.
Yeah. Perhaps Leonard Cohen's.
Oh man,
it's already a great shout.
I'm already like, oh.
We're there.
Famous Blue Raincoat.
The famous blue red coat.
Raincoat. The famous blue raincoat.
I don't know what that one is.
It's a letter that he wrote to his wife, lover.
Okay.
So it's a letter between two men. He is the husband, and he sort of thanks the wife's lover for ringing some bells in his. Well, there are lots of songs. It's very.
Oh my goodness!
It's very unfair to choose one. It's very unfair to choose one.
Yeah,
but
of course,
it happens. Sometimes, but it's very unfair. I could choose Claire de Lune from Debussy, for example. It's very unfair to pick your favorite song. Sorry.
I find favorite songs subjective anyway. They're by the moment. That's one thing that I do love about Spotify is the wrap up playlist that they give you at the end of the year.
Yes.
They know you better than yourself.
And I'm just like, I didn't think I was as gay as I am with my music choices. I'm like, I'm terrible. Like so this year, my top song was "Waving Through a Window" from Dear Evan Hansen, and then the next three entries was still like Broadway or West End musical, Broadway or West End musical, Broadway or West End musical, and I'm like, what? And between them, I'd listened to those 4 or 5 songs like over 1,000 times in 1 year. And it's like, what is wrong with me? I'm a creature of habit. But then you look at my previous 5 years, and it dots around all over the place.
Yeah.
But what's the problem?
The one consistent thing that I do have, though, is my number one artist each year for the last 5 years has been the same one, which says something to me about what I listen to.
Yeah.
That's surprising to me because I thought I was more eclectic and wide than that. But apparently I'm quite simple. Anyway.
Me too. Let me just tell you something about this. I was reading a book which is called 21 Ideas for the 21st Century. I cannot name the writer. It's an Indian writer. It's a very nice book. And he said that he's gay, and he knew he was gay when he reached 18 years old. But Google knew he was gay since he was 14. So that makes you think.
Yeah, it's true.
That can go full circle back to the only thing I was going to say in shower thoughts that I didn't say was it really, really pisses me off when you've got a targeted advert from Google or wherever it comes from, and it's a product you already own, or it's an information point that you already have and you already know about it. And it's like, that's so annoying. Know me better.
Yeah.
But it's true, and they are almost always right, which is a problem.
It's annoying.
So, Manuel, you need to tell us if you were going to ride into battle on an animal, what would you choose? Which animal would you choose?
Not a horse. I was only on the top of a horse 2 times, and it didn't go very well. So
just anything except a horse.
I would take a dog. or Panchita, perhaps Panchita, the crocodile from Mexico. I'll take her with me.
I was just going to say that.
He's going into battle on a Mexican crocodile. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's amazing.
Last two. Manuel,
last 2 questions.
Because this is Unsung Heroes, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Fly. No doubt.
That was super quick.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've thought about it very often. Or breathe underwater could be handy.
Breathing underwater. We didn't talk about your.
But I prefer to fly. I would prefer to fly.
All right. Last question.
Okay. Yeah. So if you had to wear a hat for the rest of your life, and you couldn't tell people why you were wearing the hat or whatever, you just had to be wearing them, would you pick the big hat or would you pick the little hat?
The big one.
Everyone picks the big one.
Yeah.
I need a less gay little hat, Cynthia. Like, shout out to anyone that wants to replace
better on you, then.
This hat with a small, tiny version of this hat. That would make me very happy. But I can't buy one anywhere.
But
that's another one in the big
put the other one. Put the other one just for me to see.
What if you've got something on your head there?
Oh, it's something out of the hat.
If you wear the red hat, you would be taken to a mental hospital. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You wouldn't survive an hour in Lisbon.
Yeah, you would. There are some strange people in this city.
Yeah, but anyway.
This one even has hair clips, so you can clip it to your hair.
Mm-hmm.
No, you are
I've
not.
done this twice, and both times I've ended up.
I'm not buying this. I prefer the other one. I could enter a lot of clubs with that one.
Yeah, that one's class though. That's like a timeless.
Yeah.
It's a timeless thing.
Yeah.
But you have to wear it all the time. All the time.
Even during sex, which is where I think this one comes in. Because it's less obscure and difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
It holds on to itself.
You can still move around with that one.
You can be absolutely going mad and it's sticking itself. But then this one, like, no.
It will fall down and it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You did your best anyway. Yeah.
And on that note, Manuel, where can we find you and follow you and see what you're up to and doing?
Last thing I want to say, I'm not a hero. I never felt myself as I am the regular guy. So
but you're still a hero.
I'm not in Instagram or those stuff. I'm in Facebook, where you will be more than welcome because I have some friends there, and LinkedIn, and that's all.
Wonderful.
I don't advertise myself, and I run away from people that keep advertising themselves. It's not my style. Cynthia knows me. But I like to spread my word. I'm a bit like a priest, I'm always annoying people about sound. If I go to dinner with a group of people, after 5 minutes, you see this sound, and I'm quite quite painful as a company, because I do this fight for a more quieter and more natural planet.
I love that.
That's a note to end on.
And that is a note to end
more
on.
natural planet.
I didn't see the comments. Are there? Well, I didn't see any comments. We don't have.
None that popped in specifically with questions. Otherwise, we would have answered.
Okay. It was
Manuel,
really amusing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being.
No, it's. I didn't imagine it. I know Cynthia, and I could imagine it would be pleasant, but not so amusing. It's really, I really had a good time with you guys. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Fantastic.
We had a great time with you. Thank you so much, Manuel, for being on the show this year. TETV and Unsung Heroes fans, please like, follow, subscribe, connect with Manuel on LinkedIn or on Facebook if you want to get to know him a little bit better. And this is the last show of 2021. So everyone, happy holidays, happy whatever you celebrate, whether you celebrate or you don't celebrate. Have a wonderful end of the year. Have a wonderful beginning of the year. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Make the world a better place, and go hug a hero. Love you all. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.